It's 4 p.m.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right. I need a motion and a second to approve the April 8th, 2026 meeting agenda.
Make the motion.
B. Johnson makes the motion.
I'll second.
K. Johnson seconds. Any discussion?
Put us down as BK. You can just put us down as BK.
Yeah.
Shorten things up.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Board presenters, written communication, old business. We have a board presenter. All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Sean Lewis. I'm a senior project manager with Krause Anderson. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
I got a loud voice, plus I have this here. I figured since this is the first time we had the opportunity to meet, I'd give a little bit about myself. I won't take too long, because hopefully I assured Scott the special board meetings are usually pretty quick in and out. So, but just a little bit about me. I do have married with 5 kids, so we have a busy household. The two in from the left is a senior this year, actually, so graduates in just a few weeks. And I've been doing construction things for over 25 years and done primarily a lot of school projects very similar to this one for almost 10 years of my career. So I've got a little bit of experience with this, and hopefully you guys are assured you're in good hands with Krause Anderson and myself as the senior project manager as we go through. So with that, I'll go into the specifics we're here tonight for. So we have a couple of things to go through. We've got recommendations for contracts for what we're calling bid package number 1. This is related to the referendum that was passed last year for $5 million worth of construction, various renovation projects and things. We also have an overall budget, or overall project budget for the $5 million we'd like to go through after this. And I wanted to explain the process, a little bit of how we arrived here, and then a little bit of about what this means. And then we do have some remaining work scheduled for bid package 2 is for the window materials themselves. We're doing that, broke it off as a separate bid package so the school district can leverage the sales tax exemption certification. And then bid package number 3 will be for phase 2, which is scheduled for the construction of next year, 2027. So with Widseth Architects and ourselves, we'll be putting that bid package together once the snow thaws and we can get a better look at the masonry and the drop-off lane on the north side as well. So this is for the work that's scheduled to happen this summer, is what we're specifically talking about tonight. So we did solicited through public advertisement for bids, the bid package number 1, which had the work that I described for this summer, which I'll go a little bit into as I go through each of the contract recommendations. We opened bids for that on March 31st, which was last Tuesday. And I will say we had excellent coverage. We were very happy with that. In other words, we had multiple bidders, a lot of interest in the project. So that's always a good thing, because then you're leveraging that competition and you're getting the best prices, really. And then, like I said, we'll go through this real quick. So after we open bids, we go through a detailed qualification process where I contact each one of the parent lows, and in some cases the other bidders are maybe that were close or I had other questions to clarify. So each one of these individuals, the contact at these different firms I've visited personally with and qualified them. And to clarify, qualification is really to help avoid anything they may have missed or we're trying to avoid any problems, mitigating problems we might have with them. They are required to bid on the bidding documents that were provided to them publicly. They do provide a bid bond, so they have to honor their bid, basically. So, but it's also a good best practice to go through that qualification with them. So what we have in front of you are the different scopes of work. We've got special testing inspections, American engineering testing. For the work scope 06A, it's one of the nomenclatures we use in my business, so bear with me with acronyms and things like that. but that's for the install or the labor only of the windows, removal and installing the new ones, the window sills, all of the associated flashing and everything that goes into preparing the openings before new windows are put in. And also for the final cleaning and temporary things. That's CMC construction. We also have North Central Roofing for the roofing scope to repair the existing roof system. That's actually the contractor that the school district typically calls for different projects on the roof, so this one actually works really well. Eric Pilgrim's familiar with the roof and the school district and the expectations, so that one works out well, and he actually came in under budget too. Overall, we're under budget. We're appearing to come in under budget at this point. Of course, we've got more work coming up, but for what we have had estimated for this stage of the work, bids did come in favorably. We also have fluid applied flooring and the demo of existing flooring in some select corridors in some of the commons area, and then reapplying with fluid applied flooring or epoxy flooring, in other words. That's HTF Solutions. Painting for Franz and Decorating. The way we scoped this one was really only painting the inside after the window work's done. We're assuming there's going to be damage to that opening. It's going to get scratched and scuffed, and we want it to look fresh and new. So they're going to paint the inside, the jamb, and the head. There'll be a new sill. So the painting will basically be just the inside of that window opening. Then we've got window treatments, so new window blinds, interior affairs, and then R&Q Trucking provided, we have the option to provide a combined bids. So for what we call work scopes, we put together a detailed work scope document in our bidding documents for each one of these things. When there's, like this one here, for example, we have 3 of them really are combined. We did receive, if you look at the packet you have there as well, we did receive other individual bids just for the work scopes. R&Q's combined bid for those work scopes was over it was about $150,000 savings by going with them combined. They also have local operation here too. Kraus Anderson has experience with them in the past, so that's another reason why we're recommending them. So that just about wraps up that portion for a total for this bid package number 1 of $1,396,525. I believe there's a motion on the agenda for this. I don't know if you want to do that and then we can go to that, or if we can do, would you like to see the budget? Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
So if you wait to hand this out, because then everybody starts looking at this before I talk. So there's a lot of information here. I'll do my best to explain it in a concise fashion without getting too much into construction accounting speak. So allow me just a couple minutes to explain kind of what the layout is here, and then I'll open it up for some questions, because I'm expecting there will be some. So what this, okay. So what this document is we call it the overall project budget. So this is taking, pardon me, I'm going to come up here if that's okay. Is this being recorded? I don't have to be at the mic.
It is. It's being recorded.
Also, just turn on microphone a little bit.
That works. All right.
Bob Barker.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no kidding. That's funny. This feels like there's a witty statement to that, but we'll just go with what we're talking about. So you can look here. The $5 million is what was approved for referendum spending. There is a cost of issuance that's figured down below. That's also Eilers is the financial aid for this one as well, and we've got their information to substantiate all this too. So basically, what we have is this column here is for what we're talking about today. So this is the bid package number 1 that was just open. And then this column here is for bid package 2 and 3, so what we're estimating for the work remaining. And then the column here is for everything combined together. So if you can watch, it carries over here. Some of these spreadsheets can be a little confusing, so I just want to make sure that it's kind of explaining it and it makes a little bit of sense. But the idea here is that we're laying out the financials for the referendum, for the projects, the bid packages, and we've got, we have a good comfort level that what we're recommending tonight and approving is looks like we're probably under budget a little bit for that portion of the work in a good way. But again, reminder, we still have, all of this work to do coming up, which is still $3 million, or pardon me, $1.3 million worth of projects. We also, on these we also have on these overall project budgets contingency factored in, because things always come up during construction projects. So we make sure that there's some contingency there. It's kind of like having a savings account, because you know that you're probably going to have to make a repair on your vehicle at some point. Kind of the same idea with construction projects, whether it's an unknown or unforeseen, especially with a renovation, or we get into, not saying we'll do this, but maybe painting, just as one example, one of the rooms, the wall, that exterior wall where the window is, really could use a fresh coat of paint. We add that into the painter's contract, and that would be one other reason for carrying some contingency like that. And then also, we figure in all the other fees and services and all the supporting soft costs of the rest of the project here below.
So when you do a contingency or an unplanned, how does that work? Do you have like some type of sign off, or do you keep track of that and say, okay, we had this much money allocated to the unknown, and this is what we spent and why?
Yeah, great question. We'll get a little deeper into that in a few weeks before we get into the construction together of how that process will go. But to answer your question in summary, there will be an official change order. So we'll basically put a request, this isn't basically, we'll put a request in to that contractor for a proposal, a price proposal, or a quote, in other words, for the work. Let's use the painting one as an example.
Yep.
Mr. Paint Contractor, we'd like to know how much it'll cost to paint this wall in this room. They'll provide a price with detailed cost breakdown so that I can review that. Architect can review it as well, bring it to Scott. Scott reviews it, and then we'll come up with a process. Typically what we like to recommend for school projects or public projects is the superintendent is authorized up to a certain threshold. So let's say it's a $1,000 change order, then he doesn't have to bring it to the school board, because this has already been authorized to be administered, right? But if it's a bigger change order, if it's threshold of 25,000 or more or something like that, that would be something we would bring to you folks for approval. Even the little ones, we would certainly keep you in the know. You would be aware of it, and it would be, right here is where we would actually put those into documentation form so you can see how the money's flowing through the project.
Yep.
But we can get a little more into those specifics in the coming weeks as well.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Does that help answer your question?
Yep. Why I asked that is because, all that just costs $1,000. Well, you do that 10 times, right? You got 10 grand. So
Yep.
That's kind of why I asked the question.
Yeah.
And like if Scott's overseeing it or whatever it might be. So good. Thank you.
You bet. Absolutely. Any other questions?
A pretty specific question.
Yep.
So going back to, the window interior affairs,
Yep.
the window finishings there. So going through the 280 some pages of the packet here, notice that on who's you recommending get the bid here.
Yep.
But their description is just simply 122 manual roller shades with fascia, whereas the other bidders specifically had a make, model.
Yep.
Like I could go and look it up.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm getting here, so what are we getting with them?
Yeah, great question. You're getting what's specified in the bidding documents. You have to bear with me, I don't remember the exact name because there's like 3 different manufacturers, but that is specifically one thing that did qualify with her. So she's providing and I can find that exact manufacturer out for you and get back to you. I just don't remember it off the top of my head, and I don't want to be looking through. I could probably find it after actually the meeting, if that works. Yeah, but the short version is the bidding documents are put out there with very specific manufacturers. That one's a basis of design, and there are others that are acceptable manufacturers. She provided a price for one of those manufacturers. Yep. So in other words, the other bidders provided more information they really didn't need to, if that makes sense.
Because it's already been laid out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you said you have this box, basically, and then that's what you can choose from, and then they bid on that.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. and I'll get you that specific manufacturer. I apologize, I just don't remember off the top of my head.
It's fine.
Just make sure it's generic versus what was spelled out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, quite honestly, your bid was quite a bit less than the others, and I'm like, the other, so some of these folks are saying that, you know, we gotta supply our own dumpsters, we're a pretty small area. Is that something that Kraus digs into at
Yeah.
the last minute? I mean, how do we secure that? Do we use our local people? What do we, maybe have 3 dumpsters in the county?
Like
So-
3 dumpsters or 3 dumpster companies?
No, 3 dumpsters.
Okay.
And,
We
oh,
actually do have one dumpster
Yeah.
company,
Yeah,
we have one
that's fine.
dumpster company that I'm aware of,
the
right?
roll on, roll off.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take care of that.
R&Q
So that's-
as well.
Pardon?
R&Q as well.
Yeah,
The
Does
R&Q
dumpsters.
trucking, they have dumpsters.
yeah, so that'll probably who does the dumpsters, frankly.
That's not something that we're obligated to go out and bid for, being
Nope.
that it's something we're, okay.
Yep, I'll take care of that. Yep. Good question, though. Yeah. Yep, and that's typically, most of the time, how we do these types of deliveries for schools. Carl Sanderson will arrange for the dumpsters on behalf of the school district.
Perfect.
Yeah,
And then so a lot of their bids was pretty much like, hey, yeah, we can do this, we're pretty flexible, we'll work with you guys, as long as things work out. You know, there's no date set for the projects. So if we agree on one of these and it comes down to this isn't working for us, are we locked into them, or what do we do if our timing doesn't work together? Do you
Right.
run into that? You might tell me it's never an issue, they'll be here. Or do we have to come back to the table and say, hey, this company's no longer, you know, this flexible language
yep.
isn't working for us? Do we then have to come back to the table, or does this get locked in on this contract? What do we do as far as that goes?
Great questions, another good one. I'd start with, in the bidding documents, I had a specific schedule starting on May 27th and finishing August 14th of this year. So that's what they know. That's also one of the qualification topics that I went through with each one of these folks too, making sure they understand the schedule. Do you have any concerns with it? What kind of manpower have you taken on? Maybe too many other projects in the meantime? Those kind of conversations, even getting in a little bit further into the weeds too, of talking about sequencing, and you're gonna have some work going on in here, and out, and windows going, and the front going at the same time, and the roof going, and, you know, for coordinating all of that. So I'm confident at this point that specifically timing, it'll be an exercise of coordination for my team. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that.
Yeah.
But-
I don't want the window treatments to the windows are probably, you know.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So to answer your part of the question about commitment, what we'll do after the board approves this tonight is we'll go and draft an A132 contract for
Oh,
each
sure,
one of these
A132.
folks. Pardon me?
I said, sure, an A132, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, that probably doesn't mean, see, I warned you at the beginning, careful with my acronyms. It'll be a contract, what's that?
I understand.
Yeah, it's any rate, I'm not gonna go down that.
32 is except for you.
Apparently, I must have missed the pre-class.
It's a detailed contract that'll be between, we'll just pick the interior affairs, because you grabbed that one as an example. So there'll be a contract between interior affairs and the school district that will spell out more specific requirements, including the schedule, and it'll also tie them to all of the bidding documents we put together. And in effect, their proposal that we provided in here for reference, that really goes away. So any of the exclusions and things like that they had in there, those all basically go away, and what's the agreement is going to be the contract that they have with the school district.
How soon do you think we'll figure out, you know, as you're going to be a director of this orchestra here?
Yeah.
How long do you think it'll take to get that all figured out in time frames? We got something kind of, like, here are the days and here's the schedule. How long will it be before we see that from you?
Yeah. Just a few more weeks, actually,
Okay.
because we're getting ready to start on May 27.
Yeah.
So this is a critical path step here, and that's the next critical path step, really one of them. Pre-construction meeting with all these folks, and before we get to that point, will be a detailed schedule of how we're going to sequence and coordinate everything. Yep. Great questions.
So you guys have worked with R&Q Trucking, right?
Yeah.
How do you, with other companies that you haven't done business with, how do you vet
great question. Are you
I-
asking about
I'm
anybody
just
specific
I'm
here?
not asking about specific, I'm just asking the question.
Yep.
is how does Kraus Anderson vet that out to make sure that, yeah, they're reputable, they have the insurance that they need, you know, that
Yep.
type of thing?
Great question, and I love this answer, actually. We actually pre-qualify most of the contractors we work with, most of the subcontractors we hire, we pre-qualify. With the arrangement where a construction manager's advisor to the school district, we have already qualified most of the people that have bid on these projects, in addition to most of these folks I've worked with or Kraus Anderson's worked with in the past. But the pre-qualification process is really how we do that. It's also checking, not all of these in this case, but we do look at even their financial stability and their safety record and things like that as well. And then taking a step further specifically to this project, that's part of that qualification process. There's a few steps even leading up to that. In the bidding documents, bid bonds are required, or bid security. So they basically have to put money down on the table, like, what is it when you buy a house and you've got your earnest money? Yeah, you must be the realtor in the room.
No.
Or you bought a house recently? Yeah. So it's like your earnest money, kind of, you put that bid bond down, and it basically says we're going to honor our bid for the 60 days required in the bidding documents. And then once we get into issuing them a contract, they'll have to provide a performance and payment bond as well. So there'll be another layer of insurance for the school district with those folks. And then they'll also have to provide a certificate of insurance. All those insurance requirements are very detailed and spelled out in the bidding documents for what they'll be required to provide. And then also Scott and I are working on builder's risk insurance policy of the school district. Just a side note, that we'll take out a policy during the project as well to protect another layer of insurance and protection. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
We decided what color we're going for our window treatments? Is that something?
No.
That's later.
Yeah, correct. Not yet.
We gotta meet again and talk about
Probably.
window treatments later?
Yeah. Any other questions?
And I might have been looking at, I can't remember if it was one of these, but sometimes it looked like, I think they had like, what is it, a subcontractor listed, like for drywall or something like that?
Yep.
So some of these folks might be doing a subcontractor,
Correct.
and we just rely that they're gonna be sure the subcontractor's here and
Oh, I'm just making sure you're done with your question.
I don't even think I started a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just, you know, it's just, it is a lot to orchestrate.
Mhm.
It's not that I don't have confidence, I just want to be sure that, like, everything goes smoothly.
I agree. I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he gets paid the big bucks for.
Well,
right?
it's just,
Something
my
like
worst
that.
nightmare would be to come like this fall and not have stuff done as
Yeah.
we're starting to get back to school. And,
Oh, I've lost nights of sleep
I
in
can
August on
imagine.
school projects.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. This one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
This one's pretty straightforward though. So it's just a matter of getting a good start on this is really what I've emphasized to everybody, especially on the windows. Of course, Marvin Windows is, you know, partner in the community, and they've assured us, assuming we go with Marvin Windows, they still have to bid it publicly and all that, but we're pretty sure that it's going to work out. Then, you know, they've assured us they're going to have us windows in early part of June. So, and CMC has estimated about 3 to 4 windows per day. So if you kind of do the math on that, as long as we get started early June, we should have no problem being done in the middle of August or early August, really. Yeah.
I'm more familiar with like road projects and stuff. So if the contractors miss the date, there's penalties with those. Is there something similar with this?
We do not currently have penalties. I guess we haven't really talked about that yet.
Okay.
Usually in the school projects, there's enough penalty by just like
We have a lot of kids
the,
coming.
the perception, we'll say, you know, but that's something we could certainly discuss. That's still, that would be in their contract, that A132 contract I mentioned.
Here I thought I was gonna put Craig's mind at ease, but.
Yeah, and, oh, pardon me. If that's something the school board would be interested in looking at doing, I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but, you know,
Well,
in my,
yeah, some of them, some of them I think feel are more important than others, but, you know, to be sure that they're done.
correct. Yeah, in my experience, the threats or penalties, pardon me, let me start that over again.
Incentives.
Well, yeah, well, in a way, teamwork, collaborating together, open communication works exponentially better than threats and penalties. Is that a kind of a good way of summarizing that? That's how I like to manage my projects. It's how KA likes to do things. We work together as a team, collaborate with them. It typically works way better than threats and penalties. Because by the time you're getting to threats and penalties, you've already got a problem.
You're comfortable with our timeline and stuff with us right now? I mean, this is where.
Well, I mean, relatively. I'm a little bit nervous about the windows, but
That's the part that.
that's the one piece, Craig, that we are paying close attention to. We
Yep.
met specifically with, assuming Marvin gets the window bid, which there's, you know, it's a public bid, so there's no guarantees at that, but we're pretty sure they're gonna be the lower bidder. But yeah, that's the piece we need to really keep marching along. On that bid package for the windows, we have the bid day of April 21st right now. So that'll be one that'll kind of be a hot potato when that bid comes in. It'll be one, really, and we'll want to get that to a special school board meeting right away, unless it works out the next Monday's board meeting, which actually it is. So the next Monday, we'll probably want to have the same kind of a deal with just the one window line, get that ordered right away, and get those, that order rolling to answer that question, Craig. That's really the one
Yeah.
thing I'm a little nervous about on the timeline.
And we're confident on, we got the right number of windows, the right measurements. I mean, I haven't taken a tape measure. Somebody has.
Yeah.
Is it you or?
No, that was the architect,
Okay.
but that's another great question.
Double checked? I mean,
It'll be double checked.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's a
Before
great
they go
point.
in.
Yep, so what will happen on that process, the couple steps I just mentioned, April 21st, we'll open the bid, I'll qualify it, bring it to you folks for approval, we'll get the contract to them, then we'll go through a shop drawing process, basically. That's when the actual opening will get measured. CMC is required to come and field verify every one of the openings, work together with the window supplier, and we put together shop drawings that basically says window number one is this tall and this wide, and this is the opening, and then we just go like that. And that's basically the last triple check of making sure the window that's ordered for that opening is gonna fit in that opening.
Is there value in having somebody from Marvin, like the engineer, come and look at one of these openings, say this window that, I mean, come to the actual site?
I don't know if
Craig, just so you,
Hands up.
the beauty of having a project manager
Well-
is we can go up and go,
Literally,
Sean,
this is their job.
this isn't fitting, Sean,
But
and he takes care of it.
micromanaging is what I'm known for.
Yeah. You don't say.
That's good to know ahead of time.
No, there's 3 options out there. Okay.
For windows?
For the pane and stuff.
Yep.
3 panes and 1 double pane.
Correct.
Options and
Correct.
vinyl and wood inside, outside, I mean, it's everything but
Yeah.
silly putty.
Yeah, we
No.
could throw some silly putty in there too, for
Putting
the.
the trust in the experts to do their job.
Yeah, but these are, yeah, that's true, and these are great questions, just so we can assure you we have a plan in place. So what Craig's talking about are alternates for the windows, that's how we bid them out. So basically, the window suppliers on April 21st will provide a bid for a base bid, which will be Marvin, I don't remember how they all, Essential, thank you. Marvin Essential is the base bid, and then there are 3 alternates also. And really, what the school board will have a decision on is which one of those 4 different choices would you like to pick? Probably based on how much money we have, what we can afford. What you can afford, would be my guess. That's kind of what I foresee happening.
I'm out of questions.
Yep. And the comment about Marvin coming to site too, by the way, is something that I'm gonna actually encourage when we get to that point. What we'll do is what's called a pre-installation meeting for the window, and ideally with that one we may do it in concert with getting the field verifying measurements, and we'll do a pre-installation meeting, which is a level of quality control that we do to make sure that it's done right. Yep.
At this
So.
point, I think I will mention that for the record, we do not have any arrangement with Marvin's. It is an open bid.
Correct.
It's public
Yeah.
and everything, so.
Correct. Pardon me. I said that every time except for that last time, I think. Yeah. Thank you for emphasizing that. The window supply is open bid as a public school project, correct? And that's one of the alternates, is an alternate manufacturer that can meet all of the specifications in the bidding documents. That's, at any rate. Any other questions for me? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. And it's great to meet you all. Glad to be here, and thanks for the questions. So I'll be coming back periodically too to keep it fielding questions and provide updates too along the way.
All right, moving on. Written communication, nope. Old business, nope. Okay, new business. I need a motion and a second to approve resolution 2025-2026-17 relating to the awarding of bids for school construction renovations.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Sonstigard. Any discussion? All right, Jerem Hack, Gabe, Craig Severs,
Aye.
Robin Sonstigard,
Aye.
Kayla Johnson,
Aye.
Nate Hayes,
Aye.
Boyd Johnson.
Aye.
Motion passes. Other business? Nope, we'll adjourn at 4:31.